Well, we gonna go ahead and get into it, man. Second time on the platform, man. Yes, second time, man. We got David Brown, man, sitting down with us, man, for the second time. Man, I appreciated the last conversation, man. We hit on a lot of different topics. And this go round, I think we got a little bit familiar with your background personally. So this go round, we just gonna kick it. We just gonna vibe, you know what I mean? Okay. You got so much stuff to talk about. I know we chop it up on the phone all the time. So, you know, we just want to bring some of them conversations that we have personally to the platform so that the people can get enlightened. One of the things that I did want to dive into it's one thing to see a person that has the ability to articulate themselves and explain complex ideas. But my question to you would be, how did you build yourself up to that point? Like, you wasn't always this guy that you sit here as today. So, like, if you can, how did you build yourself up to be able to just have a vast amount of knowledge and ideas and opinions and concepts?
My grandmother would say about me, Judith Brown, she would say about me that I had mother wit, common sense. If it looked like this, it probably is that. You know what I'm saying? This looked like it does that. And I figured a lot of things out at a young age. I was autodidactic. I taught myself how to ride a bike and just things that it took usually somebody else to do. I kind of knew that I was on my own in a way. That's interesting. But when you smarter than the people around you, or you perceive things a little bit better, in our environment, a lot of that get tucked in because there ain't nobody to celebrate Black intelligence. So if you growing up, you got children that's kind of like unruly in school. I know I remember the question, but if you got children that's unruly in school, look at different alternatives for them. It may not be that they are acting out, is maybe they're not able to act out to really be themselves, and it's causing a disruption in the school. But anyway, because I had a lack of expression at a young age, I started doing things that really did not reflect who I was. And I ain't gonna get into a lot of that, but to answer your question more directly and not make it too long.
No, it's cool. I just wanted to let you know we got time. So okay. Right. You can just flow. You feel me?
Yes, sir. So I really wasn't being myself for a long time. And then I got locked up. And for the first time, I was completely sober. And what I mean by completely sober is not alcohol and weed or nothing like that. I'm talking about the kind of fantasy world that some of us live in, to where the consequences don't come to you. Oh, that ain't gonna happen to me. That ain't gonna happen to me. And I was real strong in that to a degree. It kept me safe until it didn't no more. And that environment has a way of singling you out. You know, we have a thing that we do when we locked up. We pull our IDs out of slapping on the table. That's what I'm doing my bit by myself.
Yeah.
And it's a truth in that. You know, we say that in, you know, to make a stand and but it's a truth in that. And in that, I had the opportunity to be around people who really didn't know me. So it allowed me to start being myself because there was no expectation on me. Wouldn't nobody say, oh, you this or you that. And I felt different inside. So I knew it almost immediately. I'm better than this. I'm better than this. And I started doing things that will reflect that. First, I realized the way that you become free is reading. Reading takes the mind to a completely different place. It's almost like having a VR goggles. You know what I'm saying? But it takes the mind to a completely different place, and it allows you to be free. And I knew I couldn't do time like I had to do unless I could free myself. So I started digging into the books. My first couple of years, I was a lot of aggressive. I'm from the east side of Detroit. So like, and I mean, you could be from Uganda.
Yeah, but no, the east side guy, yeah.
It shapes a certain personality on you. And I wouldn't solve for, I didn't back down, and a couple of older guys saw that spirit in me. Like, that's one thing too. Older guys from my generation, they didn't crush the lion in you. They built the lion up in you. But anyway, and they knew that type of lion I was, wasn't gonna survive if I didn't redirect that energy somewhere. And so brother slid up on me, and I think he gave me the Confessions of Nat Turner. And just like reading the Bible and realizing Jesus was real figure, like, how does this work? How does somebody do this? Not Nat Turner, but the people that, how did this?
That did it to him, yeah.
So that caused me to go through a growth spurt where I just read everything my hand touched. I actually enjoyed reading more than anything else. I went through like 6 months where I locked my television in my Foot Locker. We had a really big Foot Lockers at St. Louis. I locked my TV and did nothing but reading. Not for the sake that I would go around and say, yeah, I know what this is and I know what that is, but I was just so interested in everything. And I read, man, I couldn't even tell you how many books I read. And when you start reading and learning new things, it shape onto your character, shape onto your overall being. And that's when I realized that's who I am. I'm somebody who can take a complex situation and give it to my people. And I also realized there's an intelligence in my people that is made to seem simple, but it's really complex. And that's one of the reasons we have low self-esteem. Think about this. Oh, you about to ask?
No.
Ebonics has to be the most intelligent language on the planet because it's all inference. I'm saying this, but I mean that.
Yeah.
And only people from the same culture can understand it. And it's so complex that you have to almost be from the same neighborhood sometimes.
Yeah.
To understand it. And then sometimes it's so complex, you almost got to be in the same family.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to even understand the language that you think is plain to you.
True.
I'm using words that you understand, but not in a way that you understand. Mm-hmm. So we've been taught that that's a bad or filthy or some type of weak or some type of dirty language, when really it's the most intelligent. And if I got you to see yourself as somebody who's doing something wrong, even in the public, you're not going to want to do it. You're going to be ashamed of it.
Right. So I want to ask you, is that like an Americanized idea that is wrong? Like, for instance, like in school, if you don't say it this way, it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do math this way, it's not right.
Mm.
Is that kind of how people would say that is wrong? Like, having that exclusivity communication, is that like the beginning stages of saying that's wrong and this is the right way to do it?
Well, let's look at it from the angle that you just said it. American, or we could say European, but I would rather refer to it as white supremacy. It's the idea that the way we talk is official. English is a bastard language. It's made up of when you look up the etymology of words that come from English, Persia, Germany, that's a gumbo of different language. So what made that official? How did we get people that could talk a consistent language across the line when this one is German and this one is Persian? What made English to be that? So now you took our language from us. We might be from the Yoruba tribe or something like that. You took that language from us and made us speak English. But you was oppressing us at the same time. So it's just like two children that's being parented by a real bad parent. The children learn how to talk to each other.
They learn their own communication.
To where they won't get caught and get punished for being themselves or how to navigate that space. And we did the same thing. But we took it and we took expressions that made it, or took it so deep that we made stuff like the blues. You understand what I'm saying? Well, you singing the pain out. But it was made in a way that they couldn't quite understand. James Brown, one of my favorite guys, he said, I got soul and I'm super bad. He's not talking to white people. White people clapping and thinking you can join in. He's not even talking about you. The soul he's talking about what black people have specifically. And I'm super bad. It was like an undercurrent where black people got that. We dancing different at the party.
Yeah.
Because we got what he was saying. And that's kind of what I'm saying. The idea of white supremacy crushes other languages. You notice that when Chinese people talk, we get to mock them.
Right.
What make that funny? Why is that something to laugh at?
The fact that we don't understand it.
White supremacy. Just that simple. We legitimate and you're not. I don't care what you talking about.
Right.
So I get to laugh at you and make mock of you. And the people here don't speak like the queen.
So do that mean, like, even when we do that, like, is we racist? Are we doing that?
We are ignorant people. And I'm not saying ignorant to mean, because black people, that's a language too. That means stupid. No, we lack knowledge, which means nobody showed you, nobody told you, you didn't get the information from anywhere. We lack that. And so we out in the world with a lack of knowing things, but still trying to get along and still trying to do things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're going to mess up a lot.
Yeah.
You're going to mess up a lot, man. And so, I asked that question again.
We mock people if a person like,
yeah, being that we ignorant,
because we laugh, like,
being that we ignorant, we don't know that that's wrong.
Right.
We don't know where that's coming from, that white supremacy is governing our thoughts to where that's funny. We identify with them.
Yeah.
We identify with white people to the extent that we think we white too. You want to know how I know? What the fuck is a nigga gonna do in Paris? You don't know shit about Paris. You don't know the culture. You don't know the language. You're not even in. Why you want to go to Paris? Why you want to go to Dubai? Why a black man that been abducted from Africa? Why would you want to see Dubai? You don't read. We're not an intelligent people in that way. So it's not like you study so much in Dubai. I just gotta go.
Yeah.
Somebody else went.
Right. And that's the standard of success to you now. Got you.
That's the evidence right there. It's not that you studied so much about it that you long to be where your mind was at. You just want to go because somebody else said, man, it's cold in Dubai. They party over there. What the wind?
You made an interesting point earlier talking about like identifying yourself or like coming into the understanding of yourself when you had to go to prison, right?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to talk about young men being raised in single parent household, by women. And just kind of talk a little bit about how that illy affects young men and the need for black fathers to be in young black men's lives.
This is one of those instances again where the ignorance just is so out front that we don't make it into common sense. If I'm a species of a thing, watch how simple this is. If I'm a species of a thing and I was trying to become in the culture of that thing, the same thing, then it would take something that came before me to teach me that thing, right?
Yeah.
A woman is in the spirit of human beings, she is us, but she's a woman. We give that title to her because there's some differences between a woman and a man.
Yeah.
Those differences also create a psychology. The way we think, the patterns that we think, is actually physical. Testosterone is in the body. It's a chemical. It makes us think and react certain types of way. It's a physical thing. It ain't even something that we have to think about too deep. How could a person that never got into my mind, have never experienced things I experienced, be an example for me to the extent that it take me into my adulthood,
right?
Which is full development.
Yeah, it don't make sense.
The math ain't math. And
the thing with the thing that I wanted to say is like how you just explained that, like it make 100% sense, right? But for a lot of black women, they've been maybe let down or maybe just don't see eye to eye with the example set by the male, counterpart, that child's father. And my question to you is like, is that justifiable for them to keep that man out of that child's life? Like, how does that work?
If you want to ruin something, just ruin it. And I know that sounds like, well, what is he talking about? I just explained to you that that's absolutely necessary to take something to its full development. The same thing. We work for we got a whole world around it that operates that way. Nothing different. So we want to make we want to be the thing that makes it different. How? How can you justify it when you made out of nature? So if you need a man that boy is going to look to men to develop certain things from him. And that's how we end up getting, the mother usually have real good intentions for their child, especially the boy children. They have good intentions, but you can't put the intentions over because you don't understand his psychology. So when he get tired of that interaction, he going to look for something outside of you to develop on him. You're letting him make the decision. Now, how often do children make lifelong decisions good when they very young? How often do that happen? And that's what you're leaving. You know, it gets to a certain age where a boy know his mama can't even do nothing to him. Like inside, he know, like that whooping ain't hurt.
Yeah, I've been there before.
You know what I'm saying? She can't really do nothing to me. Then after that, what does the mother have to resort to doing? Becoming more violent? I hit you with that. And you lap that on to your children. Yeah. Now, I know what you're asking me, so I'm a bit more specific. I know what you're asking me. But before I do that, I just wanted to set that up in that way that we understand that this is very hard to do, what you're doing. It is way easier if the same species of thing did it. It's way easier.
Yeah.
Now, what you'll see is examples being given to a person that don't apply to. For instance, men have the instinct and the knowledge of manhood. If it's been passed down from one man to another and carried on, we have the instincts to know what'll hurt a boy and what won't. For instance, my dad, if we got into me and you partners and we mouthing off and he see that static building and we may have some outbursts in the street a couple of times, my dad know that that's feminine. That arguing, men get it on. That's his expression. Yeah. That's a masculine expression. So he would take us in the backyard or put gloves on us that's too big for us to hurt ourselves. And we'll wind up and he'll laugh at the fact we fighting like girls. We didn't even know how to fight. But because a woman is used to dealing with a man from a more violent perspective to get him to match his physical strength, she might say, I'm going to pick up a rock and hit this nigga. Or I'm going to go get a knife. And that's what you start seeing. You start seeing that translated to boys toward other boys the way their mama will respond and when it don't apply. My dad would tell you to put your hands up, but your mama going to say, pick up something. Now, when that something become a gun, then what? And it's the fear you have of losing or getting whooped because you've never had that experience before. So my dad and my uncles who I was around a bunch of boys all the time. It was like a wolf pack. Almost. You had to fight for your food. But it created a balance in your aggression. You knew when to do what.
Yeah.
A woman don't know because she can't read your psychology. She don't know when you about to snap or don't. That's why they press some brothers to the edge. That's why a lot of these boy children is not turning on their mamas. Because you don't know that you're pushing the man to the edge. But a man would know that. I've been right where he been before. You can look right in his eyes and say, bruh, I see, come here, man.
I feel your pain.
Come on, man. I look right in the eyes. When we in I want to say a structured home, like mother, father, the dad talk to the children different than the mama. Right in the same house. Mama might go off. My mama go off. So that's why I'm not talking about other women. I'm talking about my mama specifically, but she'll go off. And my dad will slide back in there like he as mad as her. He closed the door and be like, man, listen, you tripping, bro. You got her. It was like us.
Yeah, against her. But not daddy, but yeah.
But just understand that dudes, this how we communicate as opposed to her. He stood with the anger face to the door closed and he like, now come on, man, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? He talked to me like a man would talk to another man to get me to understand that you setting her off.
Right.
And then I knew how to be smooth around a woman. And that's where women fail or they hurt themselves. I'm going to say it like that. By producing men that don't know how to handle you. How unfair is it for me to groom somebody based on how I see them, that sex? I'm grooming a lion based on how I see the lion, not what his actual nature.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That lion gonna be confused as hell. And that's what a lot of women get a son. They give them the idea of the man they want, but not what men really are.
Mm. Wow.
And they hurt themselves because of that. Because you start building a fantasy, man, it's never going to come true. Even in that boy you raised. He never going to even be what you think. He going to turn away from that at some point.
And just to go into that, we living in a time now, man, where the conversation is on the forefront of black men feeling basically like women have these outrageous standards or ideas of what they feel a man should be. And I've even heard brothers say, like, you know, like, you want this fairy tale nigga. You get what I'm saying? If you've heard that and you know, that conversation being had, if you can't, do you feel like women are reaching outside of, you know, what they, you know, what they should have? Like, is they standards too high for what they really, you know, need?
What's the base of a standard? Like, what's the rule? When somebody say, you supposed to be like this based on what? So what's the basis of manhood? What covers you? Manhood. Hood is what covers and protects you, and that you invest in protecting. But what's the base? And would a woman know better than a man? So if you are expecting from me what I can never give you, all you're doing is sabotaging your own happiness. I can't be what you think I should be, because that ain't what I am. That's just not what not what we are. And until the expectation match up with the nature, you're just letting yourself down. That's all you do. You're going to be upset because you're never going to find that thing. And what they're really looking for is God. They're looking for God in a man. So the expectation really is God without none of the structure to produce it.
None of the structure to produce it, what you mean?
There's a way to build yourself up and to being an expression of God, to where God comes straight through your expression. And it's by living the standards that God set up. But a person to live underneath that standard would hold themselves to a high esteem. Like a woman that walk around with her breasts out and she say, I go to church. And is that the standard that God, is that how Mary, God's mother, Jesus' mother dressed?
Right.
How does that factor in? So you live in all of these standards. If you read the Bible, which we're ignorant people, we have not read the Bible. Let's just keep it real. We don't pick up the Bible and read. We read when we go to church and they tell us read this, read that. But we don't read independently of that. But if you read it, I'm going to ask you, brother, what's the first commandment of the Bible?
First commandment?
Yeah. See how on the spot that feel?
Yeah.
But if a person go to church and actually can read and was invested in the Bible, you would know.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying? It just roll off your tongue like it's about to roll off mine. Have no other gods before me. Guess what the first pillar of Islam is? Believe in one God, but you don't read. So you wouldn't know they was already connected. You wouldn't even see draw that conclusion.
For sure.
But it's so simple to people that read that. And I'm saying that to say, if we don't develop ourselves in a way according to what the standard is, then we live in a fantasy of the standard. We putting stuff on the standard that don't belong there. I'm going to make my own commandments. And I'm going to live by those and say they from God.
So you saying black women making their own commandments?
All of us are. The men don't have enough expectation of his woman. Yeah, he don't have enough expectation of it. Some of the stuff that we seeing outside that's a product that's supposed to be a product of black femininity is ridiculous. You watching women that's overweight walk around with spandex on you, showing stuff that you should really be developing and working on. And I'm not fat shaming. That is fat shaming. Fuck it. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, you can't cancel a man that God certified. How you gonna cancel him? And I feel it inside, so I know where this is coming from. But you know that don't look good. Whatever happened to your homegirl that used to tell you, girl, come on now. Right? So we not put enough expectation on them. We watch our daughters, fathers will watch their daughter overeating like that out of depression and stress. But you don't have a remedy for it, so you just kind of let that happen. Then your daughter get all, out of shape, when we know that that's how men value women. Right. So we don't have enough expectation for them. We walking around and we going to the store, woman got her whole cheeks out. You with your daughter, whole cheeks out. That's not what you want your daughter to represent, but you too afraid to even say something to the sister. She may have never had a person to ever step up and say, black woman, I ain't trying to, cause we too afraid of the reaction. Yeah. Oh man, she went off on me. So fucking what? Be a man. Say something. That shit wrong. And that's the problem.
If I may ask, like, what's wrong about it? And the only reason why I said that, cause I had a conversation, with a family member, and we was just talking, and, the conversation came up where even if I get married, I still feel like I should be able to wear what I want to wear. That conversation went on to if a person in the streets saw her wearing what she was wearing and decided to rape her or violate her, that she basically was saying it's his fault and not hers. Like, he should be able to contain himself.
That's how you know we live in a wicked society. Because the people that make the laws understand nature. They understand that when I get completely naked, it's supposed to arouse the woman. And when she get completely naked, it's supposed to arouse the man. That's nature, right? So if she already right there naked, my arousal is what's coming up. My nature to do what I do when she naked come up. And she gonna want me at some point to not deal with her in that way. So when that's the only thing I see and you arouse my nature, what's in me gonna pull that back so I figure out who you are. If I'm wrong, then explain all these children that y'all had from one night stands. Where the nature took over, but the thing that come before that didn't. So now y'all got a whole child. Y'all don't even know how to deal with each other. You know the truth. Like we can run around and act like that ain't none of me. But you don't know that man you had sex. You still don't really know. It's been years. You still don't really know that man. And that's kind of that's the type of gook we producing as a culture.
And that's the thing too, because like even with that, she said like basically what's stopping the one man from not going forward, whether he may not be religious.
Fear. The law gonna come into play. Like if there was no other men to check other men, we'd grab. It's all kind of perversions that go on in people's mind. That you learn, these are called inhibitions, that you learn to check yourself before you don't want to misrepresent who you are. You want to show that I got that type of self-control, but you fight. Yeah, why do I got to fight all day?
Yeah, your mind, you like, damn,
Now what happens when it's too young for that type of expression? You're too old for that type of expression? You don't want it today? See, the nature don't turn off and on like a light switch. The nature don't do that. The nature keep going on. So when I get you alone away from the public, I'm going to try to do what I did. Now, I might have the self-control to stop, but it ain't supposed to stop. That's not the nature of the thing. So what you're doing is you drawing. That's why I said the people that make the laws, they know nature. They know that this is happening within you. So they put it right in front of your grip. That's a devil. Taste this. It's good to the sight. Shit. It's good. Yeah. Now you over there eating from that filth, and then it confuse your mind to the point you don't know that that's wrong no more. She don't even realize that's wrong. She gonna want to sit down and I wanted you to get to know me. I see that ass. I see that's my nature. If it was with my wife, it wouldn't be no problem, right? Well, don't wait till it's my wife to do it. Then you'll get the right place for that expression. It's all out of place. It's all in the public. No privacy. When you was little, they taught you that was your privacy. Little girls, you teach them my privacy, and they cover it up. How you forget when you're grown? Come on.
And like, even with a lot of like young women, like getting molested, like even a lot of women, they had these stories where when they were 16, 15, 14, even going back to 10, like it's this thing where they being touched, by family members and men and stuff like that. Like what's your gauge on that? Like kind of like the same thing, maybe
No, that's a whole different animal. Okay. We're talking about what you're doing consciously to invoke a reaction, and then a reaction that's invoked on you.
Yeah.
See, now that's being put on women. They're not asking, no child asking to be touched or nothing like that. This is the male perversion or older woman, however it go. Yeah. But it came from our daddies. And what I mean by daddies is you were raised in this country by Caucasians. They came from England with that fetish. The altar boys were constantly had sex in the churches. And I'm just showing you that that's how far and how deep down this go. So when they came over and brought you over here, they had a thing that they called a playboy. Wow. Mm-hmm. And it's exactly what you think it is, where they would bring a boy in the house and they would take turns. The men would take turns playing with that boy. He's the playboy. That one right there, bring him in here. He's the boy we're going to play with. And that created evil in us. See, that's your father. It passed down to black people. We act like we're not with them, but we really infused with them. So that sickness started creeping into our houses. And we start doing the same thing to our daughters and sisters and whoever, the same thing that they were doing.
If I can, like, what's some more, like, cause that's crazy that I never knew that personally. Like, what's some of the other, like, terminologies that we use loosely that got, like, attachments that's just wild that you can remember? If you can't remember, some, then just,
pot belly. They would take our babies, like, little bitty 2 or 3 year old, them children we love so dearly. They had big rocking chairs. And let's say if the madam was just coming into the house and it was cold outside, she would say, go get me that little boy Jacob with the pot belly, hot stomach. And they would rock in their chairs back and put their feet on your child's stomach to warm their feet up. Wow. Now you're going to go in the pot belly restaurant.
That's crazy.
Give me one of them pot belly. We ignorant people, bro. If black people knew what I just said, it'd be harder for them to do that wrong. When I talk about the nature of one, once you understand that is something that's naturally with me, you don't got to think about it. Nature, you don't got to think it's happening all around you. Be easy. You don't have to think about that. But when you know that this is what it is, it makes, not saying you're going to stop, but it's going to make it more difficult to do. Because now you know it's wrong for sure. And that's what a lot of people don't put in front of us. A lot of stuff that we do, there's no confirmation in a society or other places that will let us know this is wrong for sure. This is clearly wrong. So they muddied up the waters and people don't have common sense no more. They don't use common sense no more to discern. Yeah, that's clearly that plus that equal that. Clearly.
Most definitely. So just to pivot a little bit, right? And it's kind of in the same vein because I'm just I got all of these different ideas and like questions that I just want to ask just because I'm just curious to, your perspective on it. We talked about young men, being raised in single parent households. And one of the things that you said is you wonder, why they start picking up the gun.
I don't wonder why. I don't wonder why. That's a pipeline. When a woman, my mother told me to pick up something to hit a nigga.
Right.
Instead of me, I didn't look at my mother. I didn't pedestalize my mother in a way that would not let me see her as a human. And that way I can judge her actions.
Yeah.
Right. And it was her to say, grab a stick and hit a nigga over here. I hit you with this bottle, nigga. And that translated right into a child that was not taught. Men don't do that.
Right. We fight. And so knowing that effect putting us in a position where shootings are happening way more frequently. And then just gang culture, being at I don't even know if to say an all-time high. In my mind, I would say at an all-time high, but what would be your message to like the people that want to destroy gangs? Should gangs be destroyed? Should they be kept? Should they just what's your thoughts on the gang culture and just, everything that's just happening with young black men and how can we, maybe fix that?
I want to stay inside of the line, the line that you created. First of all, I don't like the term gang culture, right? Because it sounds dirty. The connotations that's put on the word gang and how it's affiliated to our young brothers and sisters in the neighborhood, I don't like that. One thing I like for sure, and I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna say for reference, say gang. All right, so we don't get. So that's not a controversy, but they organize, bro. If there was a war right now to break out in society, who would you run to? Then the gang is good, ain't it? Because they organize and they got weapons and they ready to fight, but they just fighting. When you got soldiers that's ready to fight, but ain't no war to fight, they end up fighting themselves. And that comes from the cowardice of the parenting. We're not pointing them at their enemy. We know who their enemy is. It ain't the brother from the next block that's in the same circumstances as you. You'll call your enemy to deal with your people.
Damn.
How do we know? How do they deal with your people? I bet you, Freddie Gray and Trayvon Martin, I bet you they understand who the enemy is. Bet you it was clear to them. But we don't react. Again, we don't react to that. We watched it. Oh, that's horrible. That shouldn't have happened. But where's the reaction? Those brothers react. What about the stuff that they don't put in the media because they're trying to create a narrative that makes them look bad? Like they feed the homeless. I done seen them do that. I done seen them protecting the neighborhood, what you call in the gang. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of intelligence in the hierarchy of those gangs. And if you look at a lot of the bylaws and things like that, is righteousness that just need to get put all the way back in it by aiming them at the right objectives. If you got 12 brothers just standing on the corner with nothing to do, boys gonna figure some things out. But if you give them a mission that they could actually do, not nothing corny, something that they can actually do. Like, hey, bro, since y'all already out here, these children get out of school at this time, y'all in charge of making sure the kids get to the crib, bro. That's something that'll actually make them feel righteous within themselves. Yeah, you know what? We got you, bro. They already K'd and everything up. Put them to work. But you're afraid of your own kids. The kids that you produce, you're afraid of them because they warriors and you're a coward. If you wouldn't, you walk right up to them and say what I said to the woman with the booty out. That's wrong, bro. I'm talking from experience. I live a life where I don't spare it, but I also know who I'm dealing with.
Yeah, because I was about to say it just don't seem that easy to like criticize a little bit. Like, you know, like I watch and I listen to like a lot of interviews and stuff like that. And it's like a lot of interviews going on with like, you know, gang members in Detroit. And I seen a brother that was about to like make gang members, quote unquote gang members. I know you said you don't like using that term, but quote unquote gang members, like hold them accountable. And I kind of saw like the kind of pushback, like, all right, bro, I don't know if this the tree you want to bark up. You get what I'm saying? Like watch what you say. How do you get that message across to, I mean, because the fear is there. They probably will harm you. They probably will. In a situation where you don't understand the terrain, stay out of there. Right. You don't go on no lions, then you ain't got no training dealing with no lion. He gonna tear your ass up. Just that simple. But I'm talking about that bridge. I've been to prison for 17 years. I know you, nigga. I know you. And I know what you not. And a lot of times, bro, it's that lonesomeness that a boy feel to be connected. We more, what do they call that? Not tribal, but we more pack, oriented. Men are, we're more pack oriented. And so we need to feel that. When you got, let me say this real quick. When you got bad leadership, that's more trying to gain on themselves, they're going to send you to do things under the idea of, no, I don't play bro. That dude is really the one that y'all can get away from, because the rest of the crew will do exactly what I say. But you got to keep it real with them. They know a phony when they see one. You got to keep it real with them. And so, because a lot of them have not experienced proper masculinity,
they actually fold up to it.
Right.
And I ain't saying that with no type of disrespect to none of them.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you understand a man when you're talking to a man. You understand it. And most men respond to that.
Yeah.
When you really know, when a person putting it right. So you got to come with some degree of respect. Don't treat them like they your sons. Treat them like that's your brother. But talk to your brother. Hey man, point it out. And if you don't have the skill to navigate vocally, do something in front of him that will cause him to say, "Oh, I like that. I like the way that look."
Right.
But you can't not do nothing and claim your manhood
Or criticize.
Little brother was standing behind me on my shoulder, brother, while I'm using my car. And I know scam life is out here, right? The little brother had to be about 15 years old. I turn around, I say, little bro, you can't stand on a man's shoulder like that. You got to give him at least 6 feet. And I said, don't feel bad. I know nobody never taught you that, bro. And then all the tribe of older men that was around me was like, yeah. But they were too coward to say what I'm going to say that to you. Yeah. Because I know you don't know. You ain't mad at me just for saying that. You ain't about to pull a strap and kill me for telling you that. Yeah. You're probably happy because, damn, ain't nobody give me the game.
Yeah.
So when older guys come to give a guy the game, one of the things I used to do real quick to translate what you said, make it easy. I had a lot of respect in the prisons that I went to, from the guards, from the administration. They showed me a lot of respect. And when a guard would come tell me about you, I wouldn't come over there and try to correct you according to what the guard said. Like, yeah, man, you need to chill on this. I'd be like, man, the police on. Whatever y'all doing, I don't know. But it's so obvious that the police is telling me to come over here and check you. So now I'm keeping it hood with you. Tighten that up. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Damn good looking OG. That's the way you handle that. Don't come over there like, man, y'all wrong. Y'all over here. You ain't nothing but a puppet for the people. So I knew enough about my own people, and I'm connected in the vein of my people enough to know what we need. I can see it in some brothers' face when they walk around look at me. You just really need a hug, bro. Nobody hugging you. Your mama didn't hug you. Your uncles don't. You feel abandoned in the world. And so you mad about it. And I see that. And I was mad like you. So let me help you get through that.
For sure.
Let me help you bring some of that out. Let me show you what I did. It might help you. That's what it is.
Eminem Detroit, Zeke, he the person that...
Let me just get them brothers working.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, them brothers.
The brother went to social media, man, and he told the community up. He told the police up because there's a lot of abductions going on, you know, with young sisters and young boys, and nobody is really getting out in the streets and doing nothing about it. What do you think need to be done? Like how can we impact, or, you know, how can we just make sure that we do our parts and with the abduction of these little sisters and brothers?
Excuse me. There's so many different ways and angles that you can come at it. One of the things that I was just noting is that you got guys that's hanging around the neighborhood and they always outside. Go down there and talk to them about making sure these little girls get here and there. It's an eye. Put an eye out there. You know what I'm saying? If you got a trail because where my daughter walks to school, there's a line where it's a bunch of children walking back and forth going to these schools. Go knock on them neighbors' doors. If y'all around and y'all home around this time, can y'all make sure these kids do the smallest thing? It'll become the largest thing. But if you don't do nothing, nothing's going to happen. And they see us as like they tired of this country is really tired of us. And so they're trying to find use for us. But there is no use for us in this country for them. So now they're just picking us like fruit. We'll take your kidneys. We'll use your heart. They just they taking our daughters and turning them into sex slaves. That little girl you love so much, these children we love so much, they will rape them until they die. They're selling to somebody overseas, man. So that child the horror of it just in my mind, the horror of it. But when you realize that that's what's happening, it should prick your heart. If there's any blood going through your veins, it should prick your heart a little bit to where you say, well, what can I do? What can I do to stop this? Well, when you see white vans, make them motherfuckers feel uncomfortable. I don't care if they the goddamn plumber.
Yeah.
We know that that's just like hoodies. We target people with hoodies on. Target them motherfuckers because you know the uniform they driving in. If there's a store where something is happening, like a woman explained on social media where she went to the gas pump, but the gas pump was extraordinarily slow at night. Well, you know the fucking air up in the inside got something to do with them, and then it's off 94, so both ways. So a person can snatch your ass and go both ways. No, if I know that's up there, we go up there, like my daddy and them used to do. See, if you raped a girl when my daddy and them was younger, they'll grab the crew from the neighborhood and show up to your mama front door. They would say, send that nigga out to deal with us or send that nigga away. That's how a lot of people went down south. We didn't allow it at some point in my lifetime. We didn't allow it. Get back to that. Yeah. But we have to have a tribe of men to do it.
And that's why I love, New Era Detroit, you know what I mean? Because them brothers work. And if you was to, assess them, like, what's your thoughts about them just overall?
I love them. Anybody who working toward the solution, I love you. It's just that simple. I love you. The details of the things that they do is too many to explain. But them brothers had a vision. They got bravery in their heart, and they went out and they're doing something. And I would suggest to people, join on with them brothers. If you don't know what to do yourself or you know something need to be done, call them, get on social media, tell them you want to help. They'll put you to work. They got something for you to do, but we need to do something. We're coming to a critical point in our history in this country. And it's coming to the point where ain't going to be no return for us in a good way if we don't start reacting as a people.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Conversation been going around with Eminem, right? And this is a conversation that, man, it's been had so much, but I just, the way you think, I'm just curious to get your opinion. He been getting a lot of flack and a lot of criticism and a lot of love from some. Some people feel Eminem has done enough for Detroit. Some people feel that Eminem has capitalized off the name of Detroit and not doing enough. When you look at Eminem's career, maybe his track record with like maybe things he have or haven't done in the community, to your knowledge, what's your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, I don't know that brother personally, and I never seen him in my life for that matter. And I guess that's to say something, right? I'm from Detroit. I've never seen that man in my life. So, and I ain't seen a lot of people,
yeah,
for that matter, but he's a celebrity. He sticks out. And so, let's just go here. Let's go to the base of it. Musically, right? Because activism is something that you do out of the kindness of your heart. Philanthropy is what you do out of the kindness of your heart. Nobody can force philanthropy on you. They don't know what your situation is or what your higher goals is. So that man's money and what he does with his money is his personal business. And a lot of times if we would ask these people, they probably have already given explanations for this. But as far as Detroit is concerned, what group is he going to pull? That's how disorganized we are. What group he about to pull and throw some money into? Who asked him? Who was asking him? So I'm not taking up for him. I'm just saying for the side that's critics, make sure that you clean on your side, because we can criticize what you doing or not doing as well. Right. Now, the music, think about it as Dr. Dre, bro. It's Dr. Dre and Snoop. He had an engine behind him, 50 Cent, man. These are the biggest people in the world. And he can actually rap. He study words. That's what I'm saying. So, I guess I would say I'm proud of somebody from Detroit to make it, white or black. That's how committed to the idea of Detroit I am. Could he do more? If I was in line for something that he got, yeah, maybe I'd say that, right? But I ain't in line for nothing that he got, so I don't care what he does for Detroit. That's his personal business. Now I want to say that in this spirit. What you doing for Detroit, Detroiter? What you doing for the city? You just being in the city, that's enough for the city? Or do you really need to do something to claim it? Because before we throw that aspersion on somebody who's a celebrity, I think we should be standing in a position where we could do that.
And you know what? Just to interject, one of the things that people, it's a two-part thing. Some people saying he need to be active in the community, giving back. But a lot of artists is saying, when we see little homies coming up that's doing music, we'll do a feature with them, or we'll shout their name out just to give them that extra push in the industry, or, you know, whatever comes with it. But he's not necessarily co-signing anybody in the music industry from Detroit. The Icewear Vezos, the Peezys, all of these dope rappers that's doing their thing, he not really co-signing them. So just in context, that's
co-signing them new. Man, we got to be careful. Those brothers that you just mentioned, they from the hood. That's Detroit. I hear it in the rap. I hear what you saying. You from Detroit. I love that about you. You just like me. What you want to attach yourself to? Really? Think about you want to go to Diddy party? Is that what you up to? Bro, keep the culture what it is. I'm glad that y'all ain't mainstream. I'm glad y'all not commercial. Stay away from that shit. We don't like it once it get tainted with them. We like it just how it is. Eminem is rolling with a machine that's so big it can produce a star out of a failure, man. They can put you on the radio so much that I love Sada them. They came up from the roots and guys like that. I love that type of shit. Bust that out. That's what I want to see. That's Detroit shit. That other shit, I don't know what that is.
Right, you saying the wrong cosign can change your whole style. Like it could.
But you also sweet down, watered down bullshit because they gonna want you to act a certain type of way for the machine. You understand what I'm saying? It's gonna go from what it's supposed to be to something else. I don't want to see no Detroit guy dancing around in the fucking video. Like hood dudes do, but not that commercial. Don't.
For sure. No, I totally.
And Eminem, I hope that don't offend you that's being insinuated, because I'm not insinuating. I'm saying that's commercial. What is a commercial? What is that? I'm saying it precisely what it is. It's commercial. It's a commercial thing. They have an engine behind them that's going to put them in front of people. You understand how that's commercializing the music, where you can't avoid it. On the radio, on the television, on the social media. They got people that pay millions and millions of dollars. These brothers is from the root. They right out the soil. They ate the pet milk, the powdered milk.
Right, straight up.
These are Detroit natives, and they talk and they walk like Detroit natives, and the Detroit person can identify them. Eminem subject matter. How many brothers identify with Eminem subject matter?
Not many. Not many.
Hi, kids. How about me sticking 9-inch nails?
Yeah.
I'm not putting that man down. The subject matter don't come with me. You understand what I'm saying? When my man say he try to slide because his car loud, that's some shit I can identify.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's some shit I can identify. So that's what I like. I like them. I like my sweet and my sour. I don't want them mixed together.
Most definitely. You mentioned Diddy, man, and you know Diddy been getting a lot of
they're talking to that brother. Anytime any black person come up with a plan for you and it's viable, his ass is on the news. Everything they saying about this man, they already knew it. So why it's coming out now? Who controlling who come out of it? They ain't really got nothing they really charging this man with. They went back to Tupac's murder. We so naive, we don't realize we getting the story from our enemy. And then we take it and say the same thing. Diddy freaking in the motherfucker. You ain't never been nowhere around Puffy. You don't know nothing about this man. But know that when they turn on him, they turning on him because he turning toward you.
And he was, like, I was hearing Diddy say a lot of stuff about, like, taking a bunch of millionaires and stuff and putting stuff together, and then bam, this happened.
You watch Diddy on the internet start forming all of these rappers together to kind of form a coalition with him. You know, Diddy is the older statesman in this, and he can call certain phones and people gonna answer for him and respond. Do he got an alternative life? Most of y'all got alternative life. You know what I'm saying? For real. Shit. And I ain't talking about gay. There's some stuff going on out in our neighborhoods that shouldn't even be happening. But but anyway, I don't, that's not the point. That's not the point of importance, because if they really was focusing on like what Diddy is wrong for doing, they all telling on each other. When one person get popped, they saying, well, Jay-Z was doing this and this one was doing that. But y'all ain't turned off them other ones because the heat ain't on them. And who turned up the heat? Who controls the media and what you see? So they turn the heat up on him. Where every 15 minutes, they're going to say something bad about Diddy, to the point where it's going to be overwhelming, to the point where you're going to say, well, damn, it's got to be
too much.
Too much. Too many people said it. And that's enough now for the truth.
Damn.
If a bunch of people say it, that's the truth now. No matter how true or how false it really is, that's the truth now. But my concern is that they already knew this. They that's pulling the strings, they knew everything that they saying about him. Why is now just coming out? If everybody knew about R. Kelly and what he was doing, somebody just finally get brave enough to stand up to him. Who was the person that pulled
the trigger and said, it's time?
And that's the hand that rocks the cradle. That's the person with the hand up the puppet back that we don't see. Clive Davis got to be the biggest freak in America then, because he turning people out, right? Well, why they ain't going after Clive? Because he's still playing the game. And if he ever get a change in mind, when they pull the skeleton bones out of his closet, they went so far as to say this man had something to do with Whitney Houston's death. Can you imagine the bones this man got in his closet?
And that's something too, because you don't really see too many, you know what I mean, like Caucasian people getting stuff aired out. It might be a few, like every blue moon, they're going to be like, all right, it's time to get him. But you can't tell me that it's not a bunch of them that got extensive backgrounds, but it just, the trigger not being pulled.
A lot of their backgrounds is in the public, but we don't we're ignorant. Look at the Kennedy's bloodline. I'm gonna be quiet, but if you look at the Kennedy's bloodline and what happened to the Kennedy, it's going to be clear something happened to the Kennedys. You understand what I'm saying? But we don't look, when we hear the word conspiracy, we think of something that's a fantasy. We don't know a conspiracy is just where two people conspire to do evil or talk about doing evil. Where two people, if me and you got together and said, we're going to do something, that's a conspiracy. And if it actually do it, we conspired to do it. That's it. Now, there's clearly a turn towards certain people where the light come on them. All this stuff they've been doing in the club, now the light is on. What my thing be is, why now? Right. Just keep that in your head. When anybody who listen to this, just keep thinking that. Why now? Why now? We in a situation in America, bro, where they let immigrants through the gate. We need to have toward black people, we need to have the mentality of a Trump supporter.
Man, I'm so glad you said that, because the Detroit rapper Peezy getting hit on social media. The Trump shoes came out, and he, of course he a shoe fanatic, so he wanted to get the Trump shoes. People start talking, but then he kind of doubled down on the idea of, and he said, bro, it's immigrants coming in, and they said all you need is $20 million and it won't be no more homeless people. And so he basically saying like, bro, I'm with Trump, you know what I mean? For his own reasons, but he's making somewhat of a sense to it. Like, by you just saying that, talk a little bit about what you mean.
I watch videos where people will say stuff like, one guy was interviewing a Trump supporter, and it was like, I'm going to make this up because I forgot exactly what the person said. But he was like, what if you found out that Joe Biden slapped 3 girls on the ass? And the Trump supporter was like, oh, that's horrible. I would never vote for a guy who would do something like that. And they said, oh, my bad, it was Trump. And he said, well, sometime a woman need their ass slapped. Just like that. Black people need to have that type of love and support, and where we ain't doing wrong to us. If you really think about the root of how we became what we are, we're really not doing wrong. We acted out somebody else's sick fantasy. Black people ain't been black in a minute, man. We ain't been us in a while. We sick. We sick and we need a healer and a healing in the spiritual too. Because if you gave, we the 7th richest nation on the planet. Let me say that. That's how I know it's a spiritual issue. Because economically, we the 7th richest nation, which means if we had unity, we would be actually richer than Paris, Italy, and all of these places that we go vacation. We got more money than them, y'all. So what's the problem? We can't even say we poor. If we the 7th richest nation in the world, we can't say as a people we poor. But if I try to do like the Arabs do, I know I'm off track, but if I try to do what the Arabs do and I say, well, I'm gonna put 7 in the house, and man, the enemy right inside the living room.
Killing, you about to go to war in that house.
Spiritually, we can't deal with each other. Our issues are too great, but we don't realize, and this is the point that I'm making, that our issues stem from something else. We thinking it's us when we really not being us. And that's why, I mean, we haven't been black in a while. Black used to stand for the highest quality of a thing, not something that's ghetto and low. We use ghetto like people don't come from the ghetto that make money. Like LeBron and they ghetto too then, right?
So, but just to the point with Trump,
I wasn't running from that.
do you think that I know you actually made a great point, even, pivoting off of that, but to the point of Trump, you said we damn near need to have a position of I don't want to misquote you, but supporting Trump.
I wouldn't support nobody in politics. We got a city council for Detroit, right? What they in charge of? You're saying, right? Right. Most people don't know, but your money is just, you got city taxes they take out, and they're supposed to allocate money towards certain things, right? So, okay, we don't know what the city council do. What is the mayor responsible for? What is his job? Like, what does he got to wake up and do every day? And because we don't know politics on that level, we can't affect politics at the top. So when we start talking about politics, vote for Trump, you don't know if it was a Trump policy or Barack Obama policy or Joe Biden policy that got you what's in your pocket. Right. People walking around talking about Trump gave people stimuluses. You stupid motherfucker. They voted in Congress for stimulus. Right? And then he just signed off on it. You ignorant son of a bitch. That's what I mean, bro. Yeah. We ignorant as a people. I know. Oh, we cussing. Yes. That's the exclamation point that need to be put on. So you shouldn't cuss unless you're saying stuff like that, because you respond to the nasty. If I said it all sweet and kind, you wouldn't respond. But that's how silly and ignorant we are. We're talking about Trump and you don't know what the city council do. You don't even know one name on the city council. You don't know if you can go to a meeting. When they have a meeting, they have forums where they talk about what they're going to do inside your city, and the money that is your money that they get from the federal government comes straight into their pockets. And then they tell, and some of these people that show up to these places don't look like you, and their voices is being heard, and they get the money that's really yours. We should have this on our neighborhood. Go down to the city go down there to a city council meeting and say it. Then they got to represent you. These people get voted in. You look on the ballot. I did this before. Speaking for me. You look on the ballot, you see one name, you identify Trump, Kamala Harris, or whoever. You punch them. And then everybody else you punch, you like, yeah, any, mini, miny, mo, bro. It's any, mini, miny, mo. So on that level, the credit we gave Trump was Barack Obama's. And I don't like no American president. None. Because they have power to where they can change our condition and they don't. That's why. All of them had power enough to change our condition. But they signing bills and giving Ukraine some odd $1 billion. You put that in the hood, we done with poverty. Anyway, so Barack Obama went into the Middle East and did all these peace treaties with these Middle Eastern nations for gas. He get out of office and those treaties take 16 months, 17 months to get it active. They got to write out things and write in things. So now, boom, the gas prices dip. You like, Trump got us gas. You would. This is Amos and Andy shit, bro. And it's so easy to know. So Peezy supporting the candidate. If Peezy don't feel like I feel, like on that level, me and Peezy can go down to a city council, then we'd be talking. But him talking about Trump, he gonna make people vote for Trump. They don't have no political aspirations or knowledge because somebody that looked like them is voting for him. So they figure you got the inside scoop or something. We're ignorant people. So we're going to follow Peezy. Peezy for president. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But is he the type of human being that you should be taking knowledge from on that level? Has he? Peezy rap. That's his claim to fame, right? That's the brother. He rap. All right. Is he qualified?
And to his defense, he outright said it. I don't even know much about politics, but all I do know is black people, this is the most time y'all that had money. He mentioned gas prices. Gas prices was low. Joe Biden, he said y'all voted for Joe Biden. He was the one that created the bills to send you to jail, and Trump was letting y'all out. You know what I mean?
And that's as much as we know about politics. Did he create the crime bill, the idea for it? Or did he write it up? Who did that? Was it Bill Clinton? See, y'all motherfuckers don't know shit. But y'all say Bill Clinton was the black president, right? That's what I'm saying. Peezy don't know what the fuck he talking about. He don't know. He going off of what he see in the public and how he feel. I understand that. I can identify with that because if I didn't read shit or look to find it, I wouldn't know it either. So he just expressing more from how he feel about it. You know what I'm saying, man? Shit, this was what I could see.
Yeah.
Gas prices did go down.
Yeah.
Trump was in office.
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
That's what he going off of. But it's way more intricate than that. And they know it. Most of these people like Peezy who have been to court, and I'm going to say this for the brother. Before you went to court for the first time, did you know what voir dire was? Did you know what habeas corpus was? You didn't know what these terms was until you was in an arena where it applied to you. Now you got more knowledge than the person that has never been to court before. So you can help them navigate, man. If jailhouse guys, they're going to try to understand the experience. Peezy experience and politics don't exist. You understand what I'm saying? He can understand that jail scenario that I just said because he been there before. So me and him can talk a language that we can understand. When it comes to politics, he don't know who did what for who. I'm not expecting to get no knowledge like that from Peezy. He never even tried to qualify himself to give you some knowledge like that. So why would you take that from Peezy? Because you lazy. Personally, the person I'm pointing at the camera, you lazy. You don't want to do the work. You want it done for you, but you want the benefits of a work that you're not putting in.
Message to Detroit, what needs to be done within the next couple of months?
Is worse than what I'm willing to express. Worse than what I'm willing to express for real. But I would suggest we start being wise with our monies. Like, start buying canned goods, water. Start buying things you can eat in case all the power go off. Just recently they did something on our cell phones that only a few of us are recognized, and they put a SOS on the system. And that system didn't allow you to dial. I didn't allow you to communicate. How did that happen? Anybody get down to the bottom of that? And if that is the case and we can't communicate with each other and they desire to do anything to us, then we just make it easier for them. If they run COVID on us to see how we react to our neighbors, will we be afraid of them and not able to help each other out? There's a bigger plan going on of what's going to happen to us in the next 16 months. And it's coming to a point where we're going to have to organize with each other. It's groups that's another thing, bro. There's people working toward that, but they don't get no shine, no credit, no light get put on them, because then if you knew somebody was doing the work, you might attach yourself to the people doing the work. So there's a verse in the Bible that say, let us deal with them wise. You see what I'm saying? They understood that it was oppressing us, and if they didn't keep us separated in a way and we came together, they said that they would be afraid that we would join on to an army of people that's attacking them. So it's intelligent in their behalf to keep us separated like that. But oppression got a way of bringing you together. When y'all go through something together, like guys that been to the joint together, they closest guys that been to the army. because they was oppressed together. And then you feel that pressure together, you bond towards somebody else. That bond is like infusing almost. So we get enough pressure put down on the food stamps dry up and all that type of stuff dried up. You can't get a break. You're going to look for your break. You're going to look for your break. And that I'll see you then.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I'll see most of our people.
Yes, sir, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time out your schedule, man. Definitely want you to come on the platform again, man. If you can, man, tell the people where to find you at on social media platforms.
Well, you're going to probably have to tell them.
That's right. I actually chop it on here or whatever, where they can find you at.
That's how savvy I am.
Yeah, for sure. But any plans or anything that you got coming up or anything that you got in mind that you want to let the people know and concerns of you?
It's hard to get everything that I think. Oh, first of all, who the hell am I to be talking to you in the first place? I'm a person who don't have a lot of value to himself. Like, I don't esteem myself. I'm only in front of you because so many people hear me talking and they hear something of value that they want to put me in front of you. My humility don't allow me to just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to put a camera in front of me. Who the hell is this guy? So I'm very humble in that way. But I also see things very clearly and I can make them clear to you. So what I would like to do is begin podcasting myself. Me and a brother have some ideas going on, but it's going to be a little bit different. And what we want to do is connect with the average person to help us as a group of people start to navigate these rough spaces and even heal from some of the things that we've been through. It's impossible to believe that you can go through over 400 years of the type of oppression and, stress that we've been under and not have psychological conditions. It's unfair to almost hold us accountable in some situations. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to go farther, but it's almost unfair. So with me, I do my part day by day, bro. If I can reach out to more people, if this gives me a platform to reach out to more people, God ordained that. But I'm the day-to-day doing everything I say person.
Sir.
The things that I say in front of the camera, people that know my life, they'll tell you, man, yeah, that brother been that way for a very long time. So this is just who I am. And I know I might not be able to change the collective, but one by one,
yes, sir,
dealing with our people, we have an effect on each other. And that's what my goal is, brother.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all heard it here, man. David Brown, Post of the Culture Forum magazine. Let's get it.